Black Hole. It does have a teamfight presence with Black Hole, but it's a hero that can be annoying by constantly denying range creeps, guarantee counters the Slack or deals with the Slack. Let's just pick a strategy that we think it's going to be an Alchemist.
Yeah, in a game where it looks like Navi want it to go late, VP are like, oh, we could potentially do that too, and beat you to the punch with a whole bevy of amazing Aghanim Scepters candidates should it get to that point.
Oh yeah, it's like sick point
like the Rubik one especially feels really juicy with a mag and an Enigma in the game.
I like the Slack pick because it's a hero that can actually get to the Rubik and just ignore the other heroes, kill the Rubik first, and that really will enable the Magnus and Enigma to get off big old team fights. So I imagine Rubik may be one of the top priorities for the Slack to get on top of, but yeah, the Alchemist is a problem here. They're gonna looking for that like 3-4 and then just start taking all the. I don't know how late they really want to go. It's kind of like that 25 to 30 minute stage where Alchemist is like 5-6 slotted where they kind of peak. Beyond that, yeah, the Ags pooling is going to be really nice, but you want to be ahead once you start pulling Ags. If you're even around that 30-minute stage, you're perhaps in trouble. You always want to be playing ahead with an Alchemist.
Well, obviously, when you talk about being ahead at the 20 to 30-minute stage, you'd also ideally like to look at, like, will you get that strong start in the lanes, help secure the bounty runes for the Alch. Not as amazing as they used to be with only the double bonus, but still more of them and perhaps a bit more reliable to grab for the hero. So I guess, like, looking at how that early game will go, do you feel like VP is going to get out to a hot start? The CM, Rubik, Omni Knight is your three main heroes that could move around and make some plays early. On the side of Navi, you've got Ogre. He's the big hitter, but outside of that, can Navi match up to them in this late stage?
Yeah, they can. They've got Ogre going up against like the Rubik CM. CM typically wants to like jungle a fast level 2, get the Brilliance Aura. Navi going to contest the bounty rune here. They want to fight early on, but VP are ready for this. VP may win this fight.
They're moving in very aggressively. Biver up in front and going to get to work as Pycat forced to skill up the pounce here. I would love to have that essence shift in the lane potentially, and still the chase on the Biver. Pasha has the boots, and the stun comes out from the Lesh just to help secure the retreat.
I'll take that.
Hoping to catch VP sleeping, but not the case.
I mean, in hindsight, no one should have gone for either Acid or Unstable Concoction. They would have gone First Blood, and First Blood and getting a bounty rune with no greed is better than getting the bounty rune. But he thought his teammates would be able to get a kill without the without the stun or the acid. But unfortunately, no kill for VP means just a bounty rune for the Alch.
Yeah, especially now that you only get the double bonus with it.
Yeah,
the 2 times bonus.
He just went for the greedier option, and I think his team was very close to getting a kill or two. They were just slightly a little bit short of killing that Slack. He did have to use the pounce to escape, so still a win for VP. It just could have been better for them if they get that First Blood.
By the way, I have not heard this, like, that's like the Leshrac disco, right? The Armin's little soundtrack that comes out randomly.
Yeah, it's
I was like, did I leave something open in the other window? I've not seen this in the game.
Yeah. What YouTube video is left?
Yeah. Oh god, I hope they don't see my porn.
Yeah. No, LD, that's only me when I'm streaming.
Yeah, we have quite a sordid history, don't we? Well, yeah. Pasha trying to run away here. Does not have a point of repel, but the pounce a miss by Pycat. That's probably First Blood. I think. Yeah, maybe could have TP'd out, but either way.
I think if they hit either the stun or the pounce, they didn't even need both. I think either or likely would have been a kill, but he broke some ankles there with that boots movement speed. He's still getting zoned out, which is kind of annoying for him, but ultimately this is, I think, good for VP that the Alchemist is not being contested by the Ogre, so Alchemist getting more farm as a result in his lane.
So it is in fact General is the off-lane Enigma for now, just farming up the woods, grab the early win lane. As Dendy holding mid, doing quite well, 11-3 so far. The Alchemist of no one, 10-0. But off to a good start here, and did opt for that 1 point in Empower to help secure his early farm.
You won't be able to get quite the same CS as the Magnus in the mid lane, but you'll still have the jungle to fall back on. You'll get enough farm. You're just worried about dying and getting rotated on. So, as it stands, both teams taking a greedy approach to the early game, General and jungle. Even Solo in the jungle as well in the Crystal Maiden. Hasn't gone for the aura at level 2, will go for it now at level 3. Perhaps there was a kill opportunity at top or wanted to have that extra damage to fight around. Bottom lane though, Pasha, ooh, TP's out just in time from a initiation
Radiant's
on
top
the
tower
Navi side.
is under attack.
Man, he is squishy, huh? He instantly repel TP'd and still almost died, so he'll pop the shrine on the way back out to the lane, but does say, you know what, I need the stout shield, I just need a little bit of survivability in the early laning stage.
That's a very, this is definitely the weakness of the Omni Knight as a core. It can get zoned pretty effectively by most heroes, and they're going for a full-on tri-lane. And it's a hero that needs, that's even needs quite a bit of farm. Instantly gets pounced on the second he comes back to lane, forces another repel.
Well, they see he doesn't have a TP. I think they want to make a move on this. I completely lose control of my mouse, but Viper trying to dive. Still
doing
though,
a good job hugging the right side of the trees, knowing this rotation could come in,
but Lil does have
knowing
TP,
is
so they have
one
to be
thing.
careful about this.
There's Boots, Null Talisman Root. I saw Lily start with a Null Talisman first. He wants to just have this extra right-click damage and stats, and TPM from a Rubik could punish a dive at this bottom lane.
He's already fantasizing about that plus 60 damage talent.
Oh yeah, that's juicy. Top lane, Ramsey's getting aggressive, making a solo kill here.
General does have the tango going. I'm not sure it's going to be enough though. Turns and gets the Malefice up, at least hoping for the return kill. Arman moving in, has the lightning. Can he finish Ramsey? He's like, I give me that Eidolon. No Eidolon for you. Arman will find the counter kill, but still found the first blood in the end. So he overall going to be happy with that. Plus, it's an offlane Enigma, quite a bit of experience to be giving up.
Yeah, I guess the other side is Iron Man suddenly gets level 4 as a support, which is a support that wants to do well, but yeah, getting a first blood on Ursa. Ursa even spent his money, so he bought his phase boots before dying, which meant that Ramses didn't even lose money for going down there. And level 4
Is this his standard build, by the way, on the Lesh going for the lightning build? I know it got buffed quite a bit in 7.0.
Yeah, from what I've seen for the support Lesh, it's pretty standard. You may see him go back for the Edict like around level 5, 6, 7, and start leveling it up. But I don't see it early on very often.
Oh, that dire
one or two lightning.
Oh, our man almost just managed to like dodge the scan and then ran in at exactly the wrong time.
And I like that Iron Man, he gets the ward down in the Alchemist jungle, so they can keep tabs of him. At least may set up some ganks on him if he ever is jungling on very low HP. Lesh Ogre, pretty good support to rotate in there, so they will get eyes in this dire jungle nice and early on.
Pasha getting pounced on, pressured a bit bottom. Not really much kill potential, and that is the annoying thing about this offlane Omni. As long as he doesn't make any facepalm worthy mistakes, you're probably not killing him without a big commitment.
Pasha's definitely been one of those very stable, reliable offlanes ever since he's made this transition. He's been very impressive for VP. Not dying against a tri-lane who's constantly being able to find initiate. And we may have just jinxed him because there is a rotation from behind coming from Iron Man. He gets the ward down behind the tower. They really want to kill this Omni Knight. They're so dead set on it. Whether or not they can is another matter because of the repel.
Yeah, the downside to this build though is not going to be able to like transition that into a quick tower push with no points in Edict, and Pasha, he's wise to these tricks, will just hunt RMN a bit, force him out of the jungle. In fact, backup coming from Solo, almost in range for Crystal Nova, will connect on Viper. Now the heal from the Omni, a little bit of extra chip damage, and with that, will be forced away. All the while, that Arcane Aura just helping to fuel this aggression.
Yeah, the Arcane Aura is so nice in games like this, where you Omni can spam the heal a bit more, get some more farm, doesn't have to get the Arcane Boots as early. And top lane being pressured now by VP.
Ramsey is being pursued a bit. There is a black hole available, actually. The stun comes through onto Lil. He's not level 6 just yet. The lightning slow connecting as well. Can they find the kill? Lil getting cut off at the pass. The Malefice is there. It's level 2. Might be able to muscle him down with a couple auto attacks. They'll chip him into submission. We'll find that kill in the end. A nice one at that. That's a Rubik who's very close to level 6.
Yep. You hold your tower, which was taking quite a bit of damage at a good time. They even get the D-ward up immediately afterwards since they recognize what was going on there. And yeah, General with this black hole is posing a decent threat on this top lane. Has plenty of mana to sustain himself with the Arcane Boots for now. So a top lane that Navi are not going to give up without a fight. Ursa not known for his great pushing capabilities. Has managed to do some good damage, but may struggle to finish off the rest of the tower. Will have a fast Helm of the Dominator though, and that's a very good early game item pickup at this point.
So Ursa just getting absolute free farm as we can see the Helm of the Dominator well under construction. The early Roshan potential definitely there for this team with also the level 4 acid spray, and no one about to, in fact already has completed the arm, like coming out in the courier, now building towards the Radiance. A lineup that can take Roche early, and so I guess the question is, when VP makes that move, Gods, can Navi contest? Will they contest?
And they'll have an RP, I guess. I mean, they haven't got RP yet, but Dendy's just holding the skill points, going greedy, going for the farm build. Nice little rune deny at top by Solo, but Dendy's going to come in and look to finish off this kill. Just to support CM, but you take what you can get at this point. And
you say
can't
just,
get it.
but has found the shrine, and they don't want to dive too far for that.
She's stolen. Probably gets it up, which is a D little heal. Either that, I mean, that or the lightning storm, both a good spell to have it at this point for the
Dire's middle tower is under
better him than the Lesh with the no cast animation, that's for sure.
But yeah, right now, I mean, Dendy's playing this greedy Magnus build, going for the max in power. He's going to be going for this build that I think he was one of the first players to really do this, rushing the Echo Saber and just playing the farm game. Then he'll go like probably Echo Saber normally into Blink Dagger. He even later on gets items like Orchid for his team, BKB. It's much more of a fighting right-click Magnus build, but you're not going to be able to win the greed battle against him now. Ooh, they actually got the kill bottom.
You know, I said probably not going to die unless he makes a facepalm-worthy mistake, but Pycat just surprising him with the amount of bonus damage from the Essence Shift. It was one hit away from getting out. That one extra hit, all they needed.
I think the other surprise is the max Dark Pack. Normally you have max Pounce, or at least it's atypical to max the Dark Pack by 7, but definitely makes sense against this Omni Knight.
And especially if you just want to clash early in general, you really want the bonus damage and the low cooldown, because VP have lots of like easily dealt with spells that you want to be able to remove, whether it's the CM's Crystal Nova, the Frostbite, the Rubik, Stolen Split Earth potentially. This tower will get pushed in top, and VP will get first blood as far as that goes, but the trade coming bottom with RMN, Pycat teaming up, they'll get their own tier 1, so not too shabby on their end. Navi holding their own nicely in this early laning stage, but you can see the Alk effect beginning to set in as they start to really pull ahead in net worth.
I mean, it's been a game of greed from both teams, but it's like who needs to stop being greedy first? And I would say it's definitely Navi. Around the time they get the Echo Sabers, before no one gets out of control enough, they want to start fighting. That's going to come from Slark going probably an Echo Blink build. RMN. Off at No Man's Land.
I pause to like take a drink of coffee, and I just see on the mini-map this purple dot just taking a long walk way out of position, but I guess went for the deep ward. Got punished for it.
Roche going on. I think Navi know. A smoked up CM popped, and yeah, they catch wind of what's happening. Dendy actually got an invis room, which I believe there may be no detection for at this point. Sentry's dust unlikely to be purchased outside of dewarding purposes, so smoke up, and Dendy can just reveal this with his invis. Okay, there's a sentry ward. Dendy has not walked into it just yet.
Awkward fight to walk into here with Lil poised on the high ground. They really don't want this Rubik to steal a big spell. Dendy marching forward. They're kind of playing coy, and now they'll lift him. They'll drop him back into the stolen stun. He's low. The Alk follow-up is there. He has to skewer away, and that really limits their ability to engage into a fight. Shockwave coming through. Ramses will get stunned by the Roche bash, but not going to matter. He grabs the Aegis. VP claim what's rightfully theirs, and they do so without giving anything up. Meanwhile, Dendy almost going down mid.
He stole like a shockwave there instead of the Empower. That would have been a kill. Empower actually a fantastic steal. You've got Ursa on your team. Alchemist also alright, but mostly for the Ursa. That is a very nifty spell to have maxed out already. So we'll see some power farming for no one in the jungle with this. He's almost got Radiance already. This is one of the faster Radiance timings you'll see. Like that 12-13 minutes is like the dream for an Alchemist. You kind of hit like an 11-minute one, like the best game possible. But the new bounty runes, it doesn't seem like those kind of timings seem to happen anymore. So very fast Alchemist item timings, and that's going to be a bit of a concern for Navi, who are going to be looking to win a few big team fights off of the Black Hole, the RP. They aren't going to match up the Alchemist in terms of farming.
I mean, that's the thing though, right? Is they're so reliant on these big ultimate cooldowns, whereas VP pretty much no cooldowns, especially later in the game when the Alk has that Octarine. He'll always be ready to fight. So Navi have to make it count, and it almost feels at this point like they're going to be paralyzed by fear of wasting the ults or you know, maybe they get a kill, break the Aegis, and then they have nothing to defend their base with. VP, on the other hand, they can always fight.
I think this is the kind of game VP love to play. This passive laning stage early game. I kind of talked about this last game. Like games where there's only 3, 4, 5 kills in the first 10, 15 minutes. That's a pretty standard VP game. It's not a team that looks to get aggressive early on. They hit their stride come mid-game with their item timings, and that's what's about to happen. The blink on Ursa has just been picked up. He's got an Aegis to back it up. Ramsey's just looking to get aggressive, but he is in a kind of a 1v3 scenario up top. He may not know it, is the thing.
Yeah, he's gotta really want this kill. You're in Ursa at this stage with a blink and an Aegis. You're looking to jump in. They're gonna TP one up to join Ramses. He goes in on Fiverr, and that allows General to safely back away. Armin there with the kiting slow, so they will retreat. They almost managed to crack that Aegis, in fact.
But not good damage being dealt. But I think Navi kind of start to peak around their blink timings. It looks like both Pycat and Dendi likely to go for them. With both rushing the Echo Saber. This is a Slark build that typically follows the Echo Saber with a blink, not the Shadow Blade, but you could still see either item. Shadow Blade's still nice because it's going to force constant sentries to be purchased, and you can kind of play that vision game with it, but Pycat runs into, Omni Knight, gets caught in the black hole, so General will take the free kill. Perfectly fine black hole. Solo kills at this point for Navi is better than nothing, and they haven't been using these ultimates.
Oh, this
so
would be a big kill too if they can find Lil, but he lifts up the Lesh, he stuns him, manages to steal the Pulse Nova, jukes into the trees as Biver gives chase, but Ramses is coming in hot and heavy. Ursa looking to turn this one around, he'll carve up the Lesh rack, and now they turn back for Biver. They're gonna fight 2 for the price of none as Lil swags all over them.
Nicely played, nicely baited. Pycat wants to get this mid tower, but I don't even think he's gonna be able to get that.
Well, they commit the RP. Pasha, though, is able to tank through this for the time being. He even drops the GA now with the self-propel that is going to be wearing off relatively soon. The commitment from Pycat finds the kill. Can he get Lil as well? Crystal made an ultimate, drop 2, and they will lose their Slark for an Omni Knight. Hardly seems worth it. The tower to be denied momentarily. That ends a killing streak on Pycat, and it shuts down his farm. And RP on cooldown, Black Hole on cooldown. It's push time, baby, if you're VP.
Yeah, good call from Omni there, using the pre-repel before he TPs in. Ramsey's not done. He's just going kill by kill with this Aegis to back him up, and the blink picked up this early on. He is starting to just snowball out of control in terms of getting kills, and he's doing this while an Alchemist continues to free farm away. 12k net worth on no one's Alchemist, completely untouched as far as his overall farm goes. He is going to hit like a truck once he gets this like Manta Octarine. He's going to be very tough to deal with.
Oh, do you like the overall game plan here from Navi, going for a Midas on General? Obviously, Dendi maxing and power very early. Like, feels like they see the Alch pick as the final selection by VP, and they say, you know, we still want to take it late. We really love this team fight composition, how well we can scale with Bloodlust and power. Is that the right call against VP?
I don't think it was the right call, but I also don't think they had a better option in some ways. So I guess it was the right call because there was just no better option. It was like it's a tough game plan to do against an Alchemist, and that's where the Alchemist pick was so good this game, because Navi were kind of locked into playing this farming game. That's how they run the Magnus strats in general. Enigma is, I mean, I don't think there's anything too abnormal about General's build. You can go for like a push Enigma strat if you've got a pushing carry and you've got like a Chen on your team. Then you go for like a mech into a fight. But in a game where you've got a Magnus and a Slark, it's a farming game, and that's where the Enigma mech makes total sense. So I don't really feel like any of their players could have done much different with their build. If you go for like a blink first on Magnus and you don't, and you try team fight, VP will just avoid you. They'll farm the jungle with the Alch. They'll split push with the Omni Knight. Like they're just going to play keep away if you try and force team fight. So playing the farming game, even though a losing farming game, to me it was the best option possible. They're just going to have to try find some team fights to back it up now.
Iron Man doing his best Cinderin impression here. Off on his own, dropping wards, and off on his own, dying again. By the way, this Rubik is just so farmed. Lil already 5k gold, has the blink, has the arcanes, on his way to an Aether Lens. And he's done it all while roaming, while pressuring. 5 assists. He's been in on 5 out of 7 kills. Just a tour de force here by the Rubik.
Yeah, he's probably getting, like, seeing how well farmed his Alcas is like, oh, I don't even need to farm an Ags. I'll eventually get one at a decent time. So goes for the Aether Lens rather than any kind of an Ags rush type build. Do lose the Omni Knight? We have seen Pasha maybe getting picked off once or twice, just kind of off on his own. He's going for a minus of his own, which is going to be coming up a bit slower than you'd perhaps hope for. Dendi, RP mid. This is the big kill.
Commitment. They need this out kill. They're going to find it too. Catching him without the Chemical Rage ready.
Yeah.
Not yet have the man to the Octarine.
Can they get more?
Looking for the Omni Knight. Pycat pouncing through, but it does the repel goes off, so he hits nothing but air.
Yeah,
in general, unable to black hole. Has to be really cautious about it. They have seen the Lil blink now, so they know moving forward that black hole needs to be very patiently waited.
The thing with Navi's lamp is they definitely can win the late game. If anything, like if this game's going like 40, 50 minutes, I think Navi's draft I would slightly favor, depending on how the Rubik is kind of the X factor. If Lil can steal some big spells and have a fantastic game, then maybe less so. But like there's Alk gets very far ahead early, but the lineup will peak around 30 minutes. So Navi's game plan is very much like, yeah, we're going to be behind for the next little while in terms of gold, but if we can get kills here or there on the Alchemist, that's a bunch of comeback money. It's also just buying us time where we can just farm for the late game, because Navi are going to be just all about that late game, hitting those big RPs, black holes to kind of take it to VP later on.
And it's definitely different from last game where they went for the double BKB mid-game carries, and it really did feel like Navi was going to be on a timer, because sure, Sniper Luna scales well late, but Sniper was just never going to get that level of farm when you compare how quickly like a Gyro and Ember can see us. So this time around though, they have the Empower, they have the Midas on the Enigma, and they have the lineup that does want to go late.
Yeah, you mentioned, you kind of alluded to some of their past games where they'll get behind and they'd just be playing those Magnus strats and get behind 10, 15k gold, and all it takes is one late game RP and suddenly you've turned the game around. So it's much more
the Shao-Wade TI3 strat.
Yes.
Just
lose 3 lanes.
Lose the lanes, win the game.
Yeah. Big 5-man team fight, high ground defense.
Yeah, they don't have a Yao Magnus though. They've got Dendi, who's been okay so far. We haven't really seen him have to come up super big just yet.
Yeah, I mean, so far it's been solo kills. RP getting solo kills on the Alchemist mid, Black Hole getting solo kills on the Omni Knight. This is very much like your opponents are playing both teams are still in the farming stage. And Navi are happy to try and take advantage of VP split up farming by using ultis for solo kills on cores. Once VP start 5-manning, which I think comes around the Octarine core timing, that's where Alchemist is probably going to hit his like first real like, okay, I'm ready to fight now kind of timing. Maybe he thinks it's the Shivers, like the Octarine plus the Shivers, where you get the armor on him as well. Kind of depends if he dies again, but he's still very far ahead, so maybe he'll fight fairly soon.
Jump onto RMN. Ramses will get the bash. Will find the kill, and now the RP to counter-initiate. Cleaving through to it, now chasing onto that Ursa. I think Pycat can hunt him down. There's the skewer. Ramses getting slowed down. He's going to have to turn and fight the hole. Still ready, and General not going to use it. Keeps him reserved. They bring down for Dendi. Well, I said he hasn't had to come up big just yet, Gods, and right after that, he delivers. Huge RP.
3-man RP into... Well, I mean, Slack just right clicks, but yeah, that's all you need is empowered Slack hitting everyone in the RP. Dendi doing even more damage thanks to his empower. That was the perfect team fight. I mean, it was a 2-man team fight really. It was all Dendi, all Pycat. They did 3k damage between them, getting all 3 of the Omni Knight plus the 2 supports, and then they clean up the Ursa.
And the dream situation with no Alk really around and not ready to take those fights just yet.
Yeah, it's kind of talked about like it's like the Octarine where the Alk is ready to fight. He gets a lot more HP, he gets the life steal, and he gets the short cooldown on Chemical Rage, so the uptime gets a lot greater.
I could gonna go for this kill. He misses the pounce though. I don't know if he gets that kill anyway, as there's the evasion to worry about, but...
Yeah, no Chemical Rage for like 4 or 5 seconds. Would have been close at least. But, yeah, not gonna get a chance to go for it.
Well, I'm feeling like VP is going to need some big plays out of Lil Gods with the way the game is going. Yeah. They're not just winning this purely on farm. In fact, Navi actually up in the net worth department and trying to match them. Pasha has gone for a Midas of his own, now backing off towards his own mech. But as you mentioned, I think VP definitely less overall room to grow here. Omni ult can be game changing.